All right, let's talk about it. This is a chart of deaths from the 1918 Spanish influenza. This is Ben Shapiro and friends telling people the pandemic is ending. This is coronavirus hospitalizations skyrocketing in Florida. And this is Lollapalooza happening now through Sunday in Chicago, Illinois, with over 100,000 people in attendance and standing very close to each other. And this is the stats for today. 1,800 people died in Indonesia from the coronavirus. They have 270 million people, and 792 people died in Russia today from the coronavirus. They have 145 million people. And I told y'all, when Jupiter went into Pisces with Neptune, we were going to see a lot of flooding, and you were going to see Bitcoin and cryptocurrency get its freaking ass kicked, which happened. But now Jupiter is retrograded back into Aquarius with Saturn. During this time, the cryptocurrency seemed to rise on coronavirus deaths. So I've said we would probably see a rise in crypto and at deaths kind of at the same time. And so now Bitcoin is rising. And remember, it didn't explode until it was at 10,000 until right before the election. And then it exploded. And the markets pretty much had that one down dip in March. And then the markets exploded. Dow Jones, S&P, NASDAQ. And so while no one has liked the pandemic at all so far, and it has been a point of public fighting and disagreement, people whose number one goal is to make money, they have definitely enjoyed the pandemic. I am your planetary defense commander, Star-Lord New Thor 7 the T, and it's my job to give you guys good information. I do that as best I can every single month. And I have a fundraiser regardless of pandemic, volcanoes, hurricanes, aliens from outer space at the beginning of every single month. And so my fundraiser for August is in session. I got 3.5 days left. If you'd like to contribute, I got a mailbox you can send information to, a PayPal, a Venmo, a Cash App, a Patron, and only $1,289 left to raise with about 3.5 days left to go. So if you'd like to contribute, I'd appreciate it, because I do believe since January 30th, 2020, I have called the pandemic about as accurately as anyone out there. And so these are my thoughts on the next few months. The second half of 2021 is going to be a tragedy, really. I want to remind everybody again that the science is not really settled on viruses and pandemics. Yes, they've hit the human race again and again and again for thousands of years, including a big pandemic as early as about 100 years ago. But viruses evolve just like everything on our planet. And so it really feels like people are underscoring the fact that this wave, the winter wave, the fall wave, could be like a category 4, category 5 pandemic hurricane, or however you want to describe it. And so it's just really weird. It seems like getting 60% of the people vaccinated has created this really weird sense of false confidence, like everybody can go out and just do whatever. If you got the vaccine, you are 100% shielded, and you are then protected from giving other people the virus. So we are definitely in a strange situation. For example, July 30th, 2020, we had 69,000 coronavirus cases, and you pretty much couldn't even hold a basketball game with people in the stands. And now it is July 30th, 2021, and there are 100,000 coronavirus cases yesterday, and they're having Lollapalooza. And so the timing of the Lollapalooza and the location is very suspect. If you wanted to spread as many cases into the USA to kick off in the fall right before school season, having 100,000 people gather in Chicago seems to be a genius supervillain mastermind stroke plan. Maybe it's just Occam's razor and coincidence, but it seems very odd to me. Just remind everybody that deaths lag cases by like 2 to 3 weeks. And so I know that like Ben Shapiro had said that all the blue states were totally going to lock down in the middle of August. And I think some rolling lockdowns may come, but I think that will be only after you see the deaths super spiking. But there are 50 different states, and then each state has individual towns and cities. And so it's just going to be a super clusterfuck shit show of like state, bureaucracy, corporate. It's going to be a mess, man. And people really seem to not pay attention to what happened to India from like March for like 3 months, where everyone, like, or half the people on the right like to say, oh, they overreport the cases. Well, no, dude, that's not correct. Like, for example, in India, they estimate 2.5 to 5 million people died. And they were showing video and photos of just people burying and burning their siblings and family in the streets, in the towns. They ran out of wood because they were burning so many people. And India only reported it as like 400,000 deaths. And clearly there were way more. They have 1 billion people. And so I'm just saying like the trend in Russia admitted they had undercounted. You know, we all know China undercounted. So it's weird for people to still be living in 2020 fallacies in 2021. Like, the virus is real. You can argue whether or not masks help, whether or not the vaccines help. But, you know, I don't know. And just because it hasn't affected you personally yet, hang on, because we're only like halfway through. So you let me know when the pandemic's over or whether or not it was real. All evidence points towards it being a problem. And no matter what, a problem that will continue to plague civilization while boosting, you know, the stock markets and the richest of the rich. But, you know, going off the chart of the 1918 Spanish influenza, you know that the plagues usually last 2 to 3 years. And so I have a feeling like we might be kind of out of the woods in April of 2022. And like I said, maybe, but I'm just kind of blows my mind, but not really, because, you know, this timeline is really a shit show of the worst decisions we can make and no one working together about anything. And so, you know, having all these people like Miley Cyrus and, you know, all the ladies love Jack Harlow and Post Malone, Limp Bizkit. I don't know, going to die for Limp Bizkit right now seems kind of weird to me, man. And the thing that blew my mind was, I can't believe the Foo Fighters, who I thought was Astro Fight Club, are having they're the big headliner on Sunday. And especially after all the data. And so it makes me wonder, like, how's Dave Grohl? I don't know, man. It seems early to having 100,000 people festival. And so, as I was saying, that if you were a mastermind and you were somehow making money off the pandemic and the over hospitalizations and the crypto, having a giant festival here in Chicago, which is about right here, where people are going to fly in from California, New York, Texas, anyone with money who can afford it, who's going to want to, who's been craving rock and roll and a live music show, you know, especially kids 18 to like 30, that having them all fly here and then do this show for 4 days as the Delta variant is really spiking. You know, it almost seems like the best way to make sure to maximize spread 3 weeks before schools start. We all know that, like, they can't and they haven't been vaccinating kids under 12. And so those kids are vulnerable. So, like, technically right now, part of who everybody's trying to save is the kids and the unvaccinated. So, and, you know, we know that there has been a change in the president. And remember, crypto really exploded during the virus, and then when we had to change commander-in-chiefs. And so I really think we are going to see a different attitude from the president when we get to over 1,000 deaths a day, which is pretty much locked in at this point. It's a matter of, will it be anywhere between 1,000 to over 4,000? Will we see this wave actually be worse than last time? Because, yeah, the CDC messaging on it all has been very bad, but I want to remind everybody, no one has handled this well. No one in a leadership position has handled it just really great across the board all the time, it does not seem. So there, it's one thing to put people down or put groups down, but then you have to have good groups to compare them to. Like, all right, if everybody's doing crappy, then it's really weird to be like, all right, this group did crappy. You have to have like good teams that are doing well, or else it seems like you're just masturbating online. Did I say that well? I guess the point is that, like, yeah, like we've had a year and a half to prepare for the next fall wave. We've had a year and a half to try and work together. And we've really kind of screwed the pooch on this one, man. And so, yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be crazy. So I'm just asking everybody, regardless of what you believe, just try to stay cool. And there's no point arguing about anything right now because, I don't think your opinion is going to change whether or not there is or isn't a lockdown. It's not going to change who is or isn't wearing a mask or who is or isn't getting vaccinated. Like, I have a lot of friends and family who I absolutely do not want to lose or not vaccinated. And someone said to me the other day, like, it's a personal thing to get vaccinated, so no one should be telling anyone if they got vaccinated or not. And so I call down hell upon myself or angry people whenever I mention that I got vaccinated. But, part of my Christianity is lead by example, and that I felt like a guinea pig where, like, if I took the vaccine and I took the Moderna twice and then something bad happened to me, then that would be a clear shining example of, oh no, the vaccine is bad, don't take it, it messed me up. But I took it and nothing bad happened. Now the second shot hurt like a bitch, but then it lasted like 5 days and it was gone. And so that's all I'm saying is that I'm telling you, I'm showing you what happened to me. And like, I feel like I'm tough. So I wasn't scared of the vaccine. And I'm just saying that, like, I do not know how your body would react to it. But at the end of the day, I was looking out for as much defense as I could get. Remember, I had the virus at the end of 2019, which is still really weird. I had it before everybody else. And so the virus didn't kill me. The vaccine didn't kill me. And I just have a weird, overconfident feeling that I'm going to survive through 2021. So, but I don't know. The data still suggests that, yeah, the vaccines are offering protection. It seems like the Moderna is offering the most protection. You can disagree with that all you want. You can find all the data out there that agrees with whatever standpoint you have ahead of time. What I'm trying to say is, at this point, it seems like almost everybody's made their choices. And it doesn't seem like collectively we made any good choices. So yeah, the next 4 months can be a super clusterfuck shit show, man. And then, like, nobody's really handled it well. Like, mushrooming outbreaks of the highly contagious Delta variant prompt China and Australia to impose stricter COVID-19 restrictions as WHO urged the world to quickly contain the mutation before it turns into something deadlier. And, and the people who are out there like, oh, Illuminati or New World Order, or like, how does that help anything ever? All I'm trying to say is stay cool for the next 4 months, play defense. I never stopped wearing my mask out in public. There have been 1 or 2 occasions where I went out, like I saw a friend's band, and I didn't wear a mask, but every other, like 98% of the time since this thing broke out, whenever I go out in public around people, I wear a mask. That's my personal choice. And I don't necessarily have to breathe everybody's air, I don't want a flu or a cold. I don't want right now. Anyway, so as people had mentioned, I talked about, I don't know, even a year ago. Yeah, when Jupiter retrograded back into Aquarius, we were going to see lockdowns again. And then people were like, what? That's crazy. No, you're wrong. And here we are. And I called it a year out, man. Just saying. And at this exact same point a year ago, I tweeted, I want to shake the sadness, but I can't get past the notion that October, November, and December will be super next level of bad for USA and the rest of the world. So in July, we were like here, and we only had, like I said, 69,000 cases in July 2020. What is it? 71? 73, 69. So in here, I was super worried about here, saying, oh my God, it's going to be bad. And it was. And I know people who have died from the virus. And so if you don't believe anyone's ever died from the virus because you've never experienced it, it's kind of like you telling me so that the virus is a hoax. It's kind of like you telling me because you've never seen a vagina, licked a vagina, put a finger or your penis in a vagina, the vaginas are a hoax. Because there clearly been pictures of people in the hospital. What I'm trying to say, vaginas are real and the coronavirus is real. They're both very dangerous. Oh, but yeah. So the question is like how, I think now, and I thought we would get to like 2,500 deaths at the worst of this. We're handling it so shitty, and with the whole Lollapalooza thing, like 5% of me thinks there's a chance we could actually get worse than what we had last year, dude. And so, we'll kind of, it's just weird that we're in many ways a worse position than we were last year, dealing with the same thing. And the last year when Trump was like, it's just going to go away. It's just going to go away. And it didn't. Now, kind of like that same end July attitude. Life is so weird, man. I never thought the future would be, I knew the future was going to be super weird, but never thought it was going to be like this. I don't know. They did really good on the divide and conquer of people to where our communication skills have gotten so bad through the social media that we really can't even agree on the very basics. It is weird how you combined unregulated capitalism with the digital media social age and then digital money. And somehow along that time they got rid of rock and roll and the leading man, which is like some type of male role model figure that still had the voice and the ability, je ne sais quoi, to lead people. So yeah, weird like now in a time without leaders. And so it's like mob think on both sides. And yeah, they're like only two sides. And so the 7-day rolling average of coronavirus cases in the U.S. was 14,000 a month ago, and now it's at 76,000. Like I said, we broke the 100,000 new coronavirus cases, biggest one day. And yeah, remember they told us if you got vaccinated, you wouldn't get the virus. That turned out not to be true. But all this data is showing that the vaccines seem to be offering a whole lot more protection than not being vaccinated. But, there are still breakthrough cases. 125,000 fully vaccinated Americans have tested positive. And I still think that the people who get hospitalized that were vaccinated and the people who die who got vaccinated, those numbers will be bigger than anyone predicted. And the media will be reluctant to suggest in any way, shape, or form the vaccine did not offer as much protection to everyone as everyone was originally told. Because it's like a situation with tons of variables. And so, but, like I said, I am glad that I got vaccinated, and all the data suggested that it does offer protection, and all the stories I've heard seem to ring true. But like I said, it's up to everybody, And to me, wearing a mask at the store or being around other people isn't a big deal. I don't consider it an infringement on my freedom. Technically, I kind of like it because I grew up with superheroes. But, the conservative anti-mask thing is just so weird to me. Anywho, Texas is now past New York in COVID-19 deaths. And as far as like in the United States of America, we passed New York, and we had like 400 people die in the storm where our power company just shut itself down. So I don't like Abbott, man. And my friends who are Republicans and conservatives, they don't like Abbott either. So like they're like, I don't know. I think a lot of us like Matthew McConaughey, but the people who don't want to vote for McConaughey are like, I still don't like Abbott, like anybody but Abbott. So as from a Texas perspective, and the Texans I've polled, none of us are happy with our governor right now. And I still think the whole, like Joe Rogan and Elon Musk, who moved here less than a year ago, them being nominated or elected as like the most beloved Texans in Texas is just super weird to me, dude. So it seems to me that, like, knowing you get the hospitalizations and the deaths 2 to 3 weeks after everybody starts to really get the cases, the Lollapalooza thing was like a well-timed time bomb right before schools are supposed to start to open. But yeah, the war has changed, and in many ways, it remains the same. Please remember to have fun. Life is short, and you don't know how much time you're going to get. So like I said, I'm just asking, play defense, stay cool, and try not to like blame and yell at other people. We're all part of this collective shit show, and we all should have done better than we have over the last 10 or 20 years, man. And happy birthday to the boy who lived, Harry Potter. All right, this has been another fantastic THORnews video. Remember, I did it knowing a lot of people are going to get really upset, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. People have gotten upset at me before. It's just me having a different opinion than you, man. All right, but if you would like to donate, keep me doing what I do, because I definitely have called the virus situation well since almost the start of last year. And so many people got it wrong on so many levels consistently. All right, you can make a contribution or donation, because that's how I earn my living as your planetary defense commander. Got a mailbox, PayPal, Venmo, CashApp, Patron, and only $1,289 left to go for the August fundraiser. And I usually try to give you guys a video or two every single day. Because there's a lot going on in the world, man. If you'd like to contribute, you know how to do it, where to do it. And I just want to say thank you to everybody out there. I know that I'm glad to have this job during these crazy times. Like, I don't have to leave the house if I don't want to. So that's nice. It's a luxury. And right now there aren't a whole lot of reasons for me to leave the house. Like, I'm not that inspired other than band practice or going to get a Frappuccino once a week. You know? Or going to the grocery store once a month. But thank y'all very much. No matter what, I still find a way to enjoy life every day. But thank you, Astro Fight Club. Thank you, Courtney, JL, Andrea, The Wizard of Oz, Stephanie, Dusty Moon, Charles, D, Cephas, Pep, Nancy, Darlene, and everybody out there who is still cool through all of this that we have gone through. And I'm guessing we could see a reduction in solar activity while Jupiter is in Aquarius with Saturn. Then expect, things to get better, start to get better in December, and I think things will really start to get better. I think the world will be a more enjoyable place by April of 2022. So this shit won't last forever. This too shall pass. So stay strong, stay cool. God bless everyone. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace out.